Hi, I'm Al Goff.
And I'm Miles Miller.
Hi, this is John Schneider.
Hi, it's John Glover.
This is Justin Hartley.
This is Steve the Knight.
This is Aaron Ashmore.
This is Cassidy Freeman, and you are listening to Starkville.
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 Starkville, House of L.
Starkville, House of L.
Starkville, House of L.
The podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the House of L. This is our episode for the Smallville Season 3 episodes, Obsession and Resurrection. I'm Derek, and joining me today is my kindred spirit, brother from another mother, brother from across the pond. What are we going to call each other? I don't know.
A mister from another sister.
Yeah, that works too, I guess.
That works too.
Luke Bugg.
Hey. Hello,
Like
Derek.
how we did that at the same time. That was good. How are you, sir?
I'm very, very well. Looking forward, as always, to a lovely chat about Smallville with you, and it will go completely smoothly. Nothing will go wrong. We will stay on track, and it'll be a very professional podcast.
Yeah, well, from your ears to the audio gods. No, your lips to the audio god. This is actually not about Smallville at all. This is an intervention. I've tricked you into.
Wow. Well, it's been a long time coming. I'll tell you what. It could be a number of things you're intervening me for, but there we go.
You have too much Superman stuff. We're gonna have we're gonna have to purge some of it and give it to me.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well played.
How are you?
I'm very good. Yeah. This is my way of relaxing, pretty much.
This is relaxing to you?
Yeah, because there's not
I just
much
had like
prep.
a full 7-minute panic attack that you got to watch play out in real time.
No, this is good.
That relaxes you?
Yeah, it's behind the scenes. Somebody else is doing the work and I'm not. It's lovely. I think this is recording number 3 this week of podcast number 8.
You're so good. You're so good. You're all over the place. You're everywhere.
Lots of bits for the podcast of Still and the Ports of Comic-Con podcast, because that's coming out soon. Who can I speak with this week? A wonderful conductor, Pete Harrison, who's going to be conducting the Heroes and Superheroes concert in March. And he's not said he will play Superman, but he's also not. He's been quite teasing.
He's not said that he's playing Superman.
Yeah, it's a night of movie themes.
Oh, you can't do a superhero medley and not do Williams? That's not a thing.
No, I'm hoping he's just teasing. Otherwise, I'm sure my review will be very scathing if Superman's not included. Because, that's happening in March. That'll be a fun one.
Bunch of fist shaking going on there.
Shaking clouds and all that stuff.
Yeah, all right. We were going to be joined by Steve, but Steve had a family emergency, so he is not going to make it today. We wish him and his the best.
Yes, we do.
But we will carry on in his stead and discuss these next 2 episodes of the show. Just quick house cleaning I want to remind you about. Since Luke's here, I feel it important to remind you about the Siegel and Shuster Society podcast that Luke and I are hosting, the official podcast of the Siegel and Shuster family's nonprofit foundation to enrich and educate people about the birthplace of Superman and his creators, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. I'm having trouble saying all the S's. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. I know you've noticed behind the scenes.
There are lots of S's in there, and we're slowly getting better. I can't even say an ordinary word.
There you go.
But there are a lot of S's in that statement. So yes, we're trying to practice with lots of tongue twisters in between.
We're trying to better ourselves. We're practicing with our tongues, is what you just heard Luke say.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that is exactly it, Derek.
That's what he said.
Exactly it.
Yeah. Anyway, not even a laugh? Okay, fine. That's fine. Don't laugh. No, I don't have a pity laugh. I'm not gonna take your pity laugh.
You know, you almost got a snort of water.
Yeah,
so
a snort of water.
A snort of water.
Is that a imperial measurement, or is that?
No, I mean it was coming out my nose.
I know. I'm using metric jokes, Luke. Get on board with it.
Don't start with the metric. That just gets even more confusing. We tried doing temperatures and miles and kilometers and everything.
I know. I love when we share information with each other. And it's like I have no idea what you're talking about, and you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Straight on to Siri and Alexa and Google Plus just to make sure what's going on.
I still maintain, and here I'll sound like stupid, uneducated Derek, which listeners you're all used to. I don't know that I'd ever heard a stone before.
Stone, yes, a measurement of weight.
Before you told me that, because you were telling me I looked like I had lost weight. and
You had.
how many
You had watched them, mate.
stones, and that's not a set. I'm not teeing you up for anything. I'm just saying before that happened, I was not familiar with the term stone.
Stone. There you go. See, there's lots.
But is that like slang, or is that like the official term for?
That's like the official. That's the official.
How have I been like I watch British television? How have I not honed into that one?
Are you watching weight loss programs?
Almost exclusively.
Well, then you know you're watching the wrong stuff.
Well, you would think you know at some point during however many decades of Doctor Who, there would have been like
I don't know. Should have been, yes, but it doesn't. Obviously, it's clearly not mentioned much. But we use pounds as well. But stone is what it goes up to.
That's incredible. I didn't know that one. Anyway, listen to the Siegel Shuster Society, where Luke and I will not be discussing about the differences between American and European lingo, but strictly about Superman. We try to keep it. We get all our sillies out here.
We
and
do.
On there, we keep it.
We are
we
game
keep it,
plan mode.
Yeah, we keep it serious. That was the word I was looking for. Serious. I don't use
Serious.
that word. I'm not that term ever, so I forget it. Also, want to remind you, we've had some people sign up since our last episode, and I appreciate you all. And starting on the next episode is when I'll start listing out all our Patreon members that have joined. But you can join the House of L now over at Patreon, patreon.com/superhouseofl, and where you can support the show, get some incentives out of that, like bonus episodes, like the one Luke and I are going to record after this one that you don't want to miss.
Oh, I'm ready.
We'll tease
I'm
that.
so ready for that one.
We'll tease that at the end of this one. And stickers and your official membership card and all kinds of fun things. So check that out, patreon.com/superhouseofl. We appreciate you supporting the show. Now, there was a setup there, and I already forgot what it was. See, I'm not having a good day, Luke. This is not a good Derek day.
It's all right. We'll get there. We'll work through it together.
I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad Steve's not here to like save me just a little bit because he knows when I'm not having a good Derek day. But you're here. And
I'm here.
That's next best.
Back next time, so it'll be fine.
That's next best to that. So
thank you.
we're gonna talk these two Smallville episodes. It's a problematic episode, a little bit. Obsession.
Possibly.
A lot of stories have been written. Things have been said about the character of Alicia Baker over the last 20 plus years. I was an Alicia fan, and then I wasn't an Alicia fan, and then I was an Alicia fan. Anyway, problematic is the term to be used for that one.
Yes.
And then yet another episode in the installment of the liver disease storyline. Did you remember any of this? Was just like watching these two episodes? Were you just like, this is like.
No, it came flooding back.
Did it?
Certain scenes and certain sequences, like, oh yes, I remember.
The obsession
the
one
behind this, or the physics behind that one.
The obsession one sticks out in my head a good bit. I think because there's more to Alicia coming in season 4, so that
helps.
Carries out more. I remember Adam Knight being a bigger part of Resurrection for some reason, and he's not, which was much more of a weaker episode than what I remembered it being at the time. Like I remembered Jonathan's heart surgery, and I remembered the really horrible villain, quote unquote, the brother with his terrible haircut and kryptonite bomb strapped to him. Yeah,
that was a bit much.
Fine. Obsession, episode 314, the 58th episode of the series, written by Holly Harold, directed by James Marshall, aired February 18th, 2004, just a few days, 21 years ago, it turned. It can drink legally now. Here, over there, it could drink for years.
It could. It might have needed it as well. And just to say, a couple of days after Valentine's Day, this is a very romantic episode.
Yeah, entirely. And still had Christmas lights on the houses and all that snow in Kansas that you get and all that good stuff. I absolutely love the scene when we come back over to the opening credits when they're walking up to the school in the snow and Clark and Alicia are talking. All the beautiful Kansas mountains in the background, that you get in Kansas, not Vancouver, Canada, whatsoever. Just foggy enough that you can barely see it, but it's good stuff. Clark is forced to use his powers in front of Alicia. this summary assumes that we know who Alicia is. Most people do because there's rumors about her being stuck up and everything. But she's yet another classmate that we see, and well, this one we actually do see again. Alicia Clark is then surprised to find out that she has powers of her own. The two develop a bond through their shared secrets, but things turn ugly after Alicia becomes obsessive about sharing Clark with anyone else, especially Lana. Meanwhile, Lana asks Lex to investigate Adam Knight. Ooh. All right, what are your early memories of this one from back in the day?
Sometimes the ones that focused a bit too much on the romancing of Clark Kent. Not the romancing the stone, but the romancing Clark Kent. They were sometimes hit and miss with me. Sometimes I'd be in the right mood for some more affection or emotional stories that weren't to do with Lana, Lois, or sometimes Chloe. But it's always nice when he gets to share his powers with somebody else that's not a classic from the comics.
Yeah.
And there were, again, those elements of will they, won't they in this with them. And, I'm aware of fan fiction and the roads that it can take over the years. And we've seen these characters come and go.
You're a big writer of fan fiction, as everyone knows.
I'm a big fan of it. I dare to unleash any of my imagination to any form of fandom, because I'm sure I'd kill the characters for myself, let alone any other fans that are out in the world. But I like it when Clark's happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, it's enjoyable, but the chemistry between these two and sort of the red flags, as you say, that are just so prominent in some of these other episodes. But it was fun. It was a cute episode.
Yeah.
They were a cute couple. They had their moments.
They were until they weren't.
Yes,
Yeah.
That is it. They weren't. That's it. That's
Until
a
they
very
weren't.
good way of putting it.
Because Alicia's a little.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's not great, but it's fun. Our first episode in a while where everybody's in it. Everybody gets a scene. This time around, even Lionel gets a little shot at the beginning here with his dressing down. I was trying to find a term different than dressing down, but just annoying Chloe.
Yes.
Do you have a question? You there?
Yeah. The way he does so
that
well.
Screwed me over so many times. Yeah. So this one I remember very well. I remember. I do remember liking her and almost feeling sorry for her at the time. And then we come back in season 4 with her, and there's that 2-part episode with her, and it's so hard. I mean, she sexually assaults him a little bit because she puts him on red kryptonite, and he doesn't. I appreciate that at least they went and got married first in Vegas, but it's a little awkward.
That's the way of putting it.
The scene with Jonathan's awkward.
Yes.
Coming in the room. This one it's a standout episode of season 3, but even now talking about 21 years later, I'm kind of like, it's an awkward episode to talk about in various stages.
Yeah. But I think every other episode there was something there that would be looked upon differently in a different generation, but still back then people were like, okay, that's an interesting route to take for that particular story. Will this character be coming back? Will there be, repercussions, as it were, with this storyline? And it wasn't straight away, but there was. But it had some moments in it.
And I remember, I love when I watch an episode and I remember something that's happening, but then I don't remember what comes of it. Like the elevator sequence at the beginning, once they teleport out and it crashes and they're fine in the lobby, I was like, how do they explain away that they were off it and then it crashed? And then Clark literally says, we got off it and then it crashed. I'm like, but what? Okay. But they got off at like floor 19 or something.
Yeah,
so,
and he got rid of the video footage so perfectly well.
Did it though? I mean, do you not see the heat vision hitting the camera before it happens? Is that not a thing?
How fast is that heat vision? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Did it, create a white balance effect first of all, where there was just a solar flare, perhaps?
Yeah.
But Either way, he didn't get caught.
It's fine.
out, so
Don't
he's
worry
all
about
right.
that. Don't worry about that.
But
That's
the
fine.
stopping of the elevator or the lift, if you're listening in England, just putting the hand out and just grabbing it and just friction and physics and everything going on there.
I'm sorry. For your
But yeah.
benefit, I should have said lift. That's why I had you on this episode, so we could
Thank
discuss
you.
lifts.
I appreciate it. But yeah, they were again good elements in the episode for a classic Smallville storyline. It was fun, but yeah.
Whenever I think of European elevators, I think of that Hugh Jackman movie, which is all I can say because I don't remember what the Hugh Jackman movie was.
Okay.
He invented the elevator? Is it him
Did
and
he?
Meg Ryan? Is it?
I don't know.
See, it's not a good Derek day, Luke.
Okay. You'll improve as the day goes on.
Kate and Leopold from the year 2001, starring Hugh
that
Jackman
one,
and
yes.
Meg Ryan. Isn't it something to do with like he invented the elevator and now elevators don't exist because he's not
The time travel one,
because
isn't
of
it?
the time travel?
And like the PG-13 of the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, add that to the movie watch list now again.
I'm reading. Is designed and modeled a prototype Otis elevator.
Hey,
Yeah.
yes, Otis,
Okay.
we have that
All
here,
right.
yes.
All right. He returns to his old time, which makes the elevators begin to work again. Wow.
Wow.
Pulled that one out of nowhere.
Proud of you. See,
Thank you.
Derek is there.
It's-
He's underlying. He's
It's not.
there.
It's not all.
Just needs a shake up.
It's not
You're a
all
snow
what
globe
it's
day.
cracked up
Just
to
shake
be.
it up, you'll be fine.
I don't know about that. That's not
We'll
all
get
it's
there.
cracked up to be. No, I do like elements of this one. I liked the lead, the involvement of the lead and obviously the kryptonite and everything. Keeping her in a lead room was rough. I mean, good girl. That's what always when she came back and she was like, "I'm better now," and I was like, "Yeah, you threw your dad down a flight of stairs though. Like, did you like took a knife to Lana and like."
I mean, love's a crazy thing.
Of course, Lois is in the series by this point, so when she comes back around, but so she wasn't privy to all the things that happened here. But I mean, he even goes to Lex and talks about it. He's like, she's crazy. She's trying to book the chapel for our wedding.
Give me some help,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
Please give me some advice of
Please.
what I have to do.
Just keeps going back to lead. Like last week, he went and asked him for $20,000 to save Pete from his racing addiction. And then this time it's like, help me from the crazy girl. It's like, Clark, you gotta solve your own.
Yeah, come on. There's a limit of how much of a friend can be.
Yeah,
Bless him.
solve
He
your
means
own
good.
problems
He
at
means
some
well.
point. But he does douse that girl in lead paint, which is that was rough.
Bit
That's
of
a rough way to go.
Yeah, quite a bit of a Goldfinger moment there.
Yeah. Also, 2 episodes of Sheriff Adams back to back, which I love.
Yes.
Anytime Nancy gets to show up, it's Mr. Kent. Anytime I'm doing that for Steve since he's not here. I had to.
I appreciate that. I could hear that.
Mr. Kent.
Yes.
This is a great cup of Java, whatever she says. See, I'm flailing a little bit.
You doing? It's
All right.
there.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm just starstruck because I'm looking at you. That's what it is.
Oh, stop it. you
Oh,
saucy.
you. Yeah, that's honestly a lot of there's so much. It's kind of a one-off. It's not because she comes back, but it's
At the time, we didn't know that.
you've got the B plot too of. I do appreciate that they brought her back. Like I thought that was a good thing because I do like those 2 episodes. I just never liked how in those episodes, and I guess we'll talk about that when we get to season 4. That Martha and Jonathan, or specifically Martha, is very coming down on Clark about his activities in those episodes. And it's like he was on Red K. Like you can't blame him for that.
But a girl in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Oof, that's not in the Kent house.
But we also have obsession has a dual meaning because not only do we have the obsession that Alicia has with Clark, but also Lionel's continued obsession with Clark. Everybody's obsessed with Clark. In that we find out that Adam Knight, aka Chad Nash, or Chad Nash, aka Adam Knight, rather, has been sent to spy on Clark to get close to Lana with the sole reason of spying on Clark to find out more about him, because that's what Lionel's do. He's enlisting teenagers now, dead teenagers that he brought back to life.
Well, they're cheap.
Yeah, a little odd.
Just a wee bit, but I mean,
Just a little.
It's giving them work. It's giving them some work ethic. It's
I gave him a job. I brought him back to life. I got him clothes. I got him an apartment. I got him a job. Let's see. Things that I've forgotten. The season 3 DVD contains a deleted scene in which a pair of Luthor Corp henchmen abduct Adam Knight by shooting him with a tranquilizer gun. Well, that'll do it. That'll do it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The B plot really wasn't even much of a B plot this time around.
No.
It's and both still somehow converged on Lana, as wont to do in the early seasons of the show. I mean, at some point, when you're taking the trash out behind the Talon, you got to be like, okay, somebody's coming after me. Somebody's going to be wielding a knife. Somebody's going to be coming, threatening that they're in love with me and nobody else can have me except them. And at some point,
really should do this in the mornings rather than the nighttime.
I just start packing. I think it's America. Carry a gun, and you're fine.
Is it open carry in Metropolis? Is that what they call it?
Oh, it's Smallville. Yeah, it's Kansas.
Yeah.
It's Metropolis. It's open carry. Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, who wouldn't be packing in this town with all the shenanigans and goings on?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you would think everybody at this point would have. I mean, Pa Kent drives around with a shotgun loaded at all times.
Of course.
In the truck. We've seen him just step out of it holding a gun before. Does anything become of her father? Like, I don't even remember what happens in season 4, if there's any even discussion of. I mean, her parents are terrified of her. And rightfully so. I mean, her power is teleportation. I guess you could send them to Siberia or, something and drop them there. But it's not like that she can control their thoughts or their, it's not like telekinesis or anything like that. It's, I guess when you have a child that's like that, you can be terrified of them to a degree. Maybe.
Just crack on. Just get on with it.
Just get on with it.
Yeah. Just find your own little, your coping mechanisms. And
they did. They locked her in a lead room.
That'll do it.
Yeah. Every time. There's no therapy needed there.
Not at all.
Whatsoever.
No, of course not.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing even I mean, it was a ruse that Clark was being blamed for the accident to get her to come out. So I don't even think anything. Now I'm curious if anything gets said in Unsafe and Pariah and Unsafe about her parents. I'm sure they are. I'm sure there's something. I can't remember. It's fine. We'll get there in season 4, folks.
Of course we will.
It's no time like the present. Resurrection. Obsession was the one we just talked about. Resurrection was the 15th episode, the 59th episode overall. Todd Slavkin and Darren Swimmer penned to this one, directed by Terrence O'Hara. Broadcast February 25th, 2004. So at the time of this recording, exactly 21 years out.
Goodness me.
I forgot more about this one than I remembered. Yet another person that Clark knows that we've never seen before that has some weird loose backstory of them getting to know each other in the hospital while Garrett's brother Vince is going through needing a liver transplant while Jonathan's going through his heart stuff. This is mostly about the culmination. This one and the next one are the culmination of Adam's storyline, kind of the blood storyline, with Lionel, who we don't know yet that Lionel is suffering from this same rare liver disease, the same rare liver disease that now 3 people on the show have had. Very rare.
Dreadful odds in Smallville. Dreadful odds.
Vince is played by Tamoa Pinkett, who is also returns in season 6 as the character Wes Keenan, who also was born out of our mole joke. I think the episode with Prototype, is that the one where he comes back? That was the episode we got our mole mention in by Mr. Stephen tonight. And he's also in Man of Steel. And he's also in Arrow, if I remember correctly. So he's one of those. He's one of those actors that just pops
all that
up.
red string keeps coming back.
Yeah,
For, more and more.
As Professor Michael Bailey says, it all comes back to Superman.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he plays Vince, who dies and returns and dies and returns. But yes, this is all finally the realization that this has to do with Clark's blood. Clark's blood is part of the serum that is bringing people back to life, that brought Adam back to life, that kept dosing up, and that has brought Vince back to life, despite the fact that he died before our very eyes on the table. Not before a mysterious email goes out by the doctor, by the helicopter pilot. The package is ready for pickup. One of those.
Yes.
One of those
things.
lines. Yeah.
The eagle is in the tower.
That's right. The honey is in the pot. The marmalade sandwich is on the bear's head. That's Paddington. There you go. That's
correct.
That's a
Darkest Peru gag. There, we like that. We like a bit of that.
Jonathan does need a triple bypass though, because his tout with Jor-El has left him not well with his heart.
Not at all.
Despite the fact that he had the heart of a 20-year-old before all this happened. Dr. Scanlon, Dr. Jaeger Scanlon, who shows up many times throughout the show, is Garrett's doctor in this episode. Jonathan's doctor is Dr. McIntyre, who I believe was he's in Nicodemus. I believe he treats Jonathan when he gets infected by the Nicodemus flower. So when Dr. McIntyre does say, "We've known each other for a long time, Jonathan," at least 2 seasons at this point. Maybe more. Who knows?
Maybe more. Let's have a look. I've got my stats up.
Oh, are you pulling them up? Check Derek, because
yeah.
he's not having a good day.
In Leech as well.
Oh, he's in Leech.
Yes, he treated Clark Kent for bruised ribs.
After he got lit up by that Uzi, I guess. Oh, all right. Well, that's how that works. All right. Well, good to see him coming back around then.
Yes. Get those residuals.
So yeah, we find out that that Vince needs a liver transplant because he's also got the rare liver disease. He does not get said liver transplant because he dies. Garrett, who all he has is his brother, takes this way too far and straps a kryptonite bomb to his chest, as you would, and goes into Smallville Medical Center and takes the entire place hostage, and then says, "Hey, we're going to take Jonathan's liver out while he's on the operating table and give it to my brother." Totally normal behavior.
Yeah, they just happened to be the right match. It was all good.
Yeah. Chloe and Clark get to play a little investigative reporters this time around because they're digging into where Vince's body was taken. They find out it was taken to this Metron Pharmaceuticals place that's been shuttered for years in Metropolis, but owned by Luthor Corp, because that's where Lionel has had Dr. Tang working out of. Despite the fact that Lex has been, you kind of remember now? Is it all coming?
Mm-hmm. It's all coming back. It's all coming back.
Yeah. It's hard to drop in on episodes out of the blue, I know.
Yeah.
When you haven't been watching the whole storyline. But Lex has been trying to locate Dr. Tang because he offered to fund her research, but Lionel's got his hooks in her instead. And obviously, yes, we find out that that Clark's blood is reacted. The serum reacts around kryptonite, much like Clark's blood does. So that leads us to believe that, yes, it is Clark's blood. And he tells Jonathan, he's like, maybe I should come forward. Maybe this is how I help people. Maybe if my blood can actually save people's lives. And Jonathan says, look, you're going to save a great number of people, but I don't think revealing yourself is the way to go about doing it. I like those moments in the show where it kind of foreshadows without really foreshadowing.
It goes back almost like to the 78 when I think you're here to do more than just play football sort of thing. I mean that's good that you could give your blood and it could help a lot of people, but there is also quite a lot more that you could do.
Then a man gets older and he realizes things, and that's one thing I do know: you are here for a reason.
There we go.
That's one Jonathan constant that I love in everything. Even, I'm sorry, Man of Steel. I know a lot of people, like to make fun of certain Jonathan quotes in there and Jonathan's death and, things like that. But Jonathan Kent is one of my favorite constants throughout the Superman mythos.
It's the wisdom moments. It's those little quips that we see in the TV shows, in the films, and in the comics. Every now and again, there'll be a fantastic line about something that you wouldn't expect coming. There was one in a comic that I always forget which it is, but he's out in the field with Pa Kent, and he talks about, I've harvested this field for decades.
Yeah.
And even though I've done that so many times, there'll be a time when I come back and there'll be a large stone in the soil that wasn't there the last time. And it's sort of to do with change and the fact that some things will always come back around. Like, oh yeah, that's a nice one. But yeah, as you said, it's that those moments of John Kent giving out some wisdom to his son about the world and humans at the same time. It's a nice, as you say, it's a nice constant.
There's never a bad. I love Costner. I think he did a great job with that role. I think there were some choices that were a little
yes, of course,
odd. But one of my favorite lines in Man of Steel is when young Clark says, "Can I just keep being your son?" And his voice cracks and he's like, "You are my son." Like that but you have another father out there who wanted more for you. And I think, but I am not of the opinion, the children today are, that this. I think this is anti-John Byrne rhetoric, more or less, but that Clark cannot become Superman until Jonathan's demise. I don't agree with that. I don't think that that's the push. Not one of the pushes, I guess, rather, that makes Clark become Superman. I think it has become an important part of that story. But I don't think it has to be. I look at Lois and Clark and think how wonderful his presence is throughout that entire series. He is in every Jonathan's in every episode of that show. He's a main cast member, and the wisdom that he expels, and I've never been of one that's like, okay, Jonathan has to go. I mean, at this point in the series, we were talking about this with Jason Spencer last week when Jonathan collapsed from the heart attack at the end of Hereafter. That, were we thinking back in the day, well, that was it. Jonathan's got, we know as Superman fans, I mean, at that point it's coming,
it's coming.
That's going to be his demise. And I think anybody that really thought, that got into season 5 and got to Reckoning and thought it was going to be anybody but Jonathan at that point was fooling themselves. Nobody really thought Lana was going to die, I don't think. We all kind of knew where that was going, especially with the heavy election storyline surrounding it, that it was ultimately going to be Jonathan Kent. But what are your thoughts on that? Does Jonathan need to die for for Clark to be Superman?
I mean, it's part of that Superman law that his parents are sometimes a little bit older than some parents. But it's not the end of it all, I don't think. As you said, he's such a great character. These moments of wisdom. I would love so many different universes where we see Superman 20, 25 years into his career, and his parents are a lot more elderly. They've seen their son do so much more than just save cats out of a tree, as it were.
Yeah.
But they continue to give him wisdom and be proud and be incredibly cute with him, as we've seen over the years. As someone that's lost a father, it's always painful to have those moments in comics and in TV shows, but it's something, I wouldn't say nice to relate to Superman's mythos with, but when it gets mixed up, it's always interesting. How would Superman's world be different if he was raised just by his dad?
Yeah.
Not just Mark Kent, which I think we might get a glimpse of in James Gunn's Superman if we're going down theory routes. But
you think Martha's going to be gone, but
I don't want to say,
Jonathan
yeah,
alive.
it's going to be different. Mark Kent's passed away. But what we've seen in the trailer, there's a scene. I love a scene on a porch.
Mm-hmm.
Love a porch. We don't get many porches in the UK, but he's there with Pa Kent. They're both in plaid. That's a
Yeah.
tick for Luke's feel-good moments. But
Yeah.
also, they're both looking very sad. And one would think, why are they sad? And the brain and the overactive imagination starts to play, thinking, maybe the wonderful Martha has passed away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to see how his life would be different with both parents or without Pa or Mark Kent. So but I don't think it's essential that he has to die. I mean, we've seen different ways that Superman has gained more motivation to become Superman in different ways over the years, whether it be a world conflict or an accident happening to somebody that he knows. It doesn't always have to go back to, dead dad, time
Yeah.
to be the man of the house and the hero for the world sort of thing. But it works, so sometimes they don't necessarily want to fix something that isn't broken.
Is that always an emotional element for you when Jonathan passes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's whenever I sort of I can, oh, hang on, something's going too well for Clark. Something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's see if this triggers any trauma.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah.
But it doesn't always happen. But it's always sometimes just bubbling underneath the surface.
It's such a, and more often than not, it's the heart attack, obviously. 78, Smallville, tornado, what have you. It's, it's,
Yeah.
it's, that one could have been saved, I think. But, it's, what have you. I don't want to get into that. What was your take on that? Has your take on the tornado changed in the last 11 years? 12
There's been
years?
blips. There's been moments where I try to think, well, let's look at every angle and see why he did it and why the dog didn't get saved or if this could have happened. I'm a big fan of chaos theory and what if.
Yeah.
What if this person had been there and what if that had happened?
Yeah.
I'm never a fan of Pa Kent dying,
No.
but in that situation, it wasn't a good death, as it were, as they talk about in that film. A good death is its own reward.
Yeah.
He didn't get a good one, did he?
No. At the time,
Here we go. He's
No,
getting
I'm
ready.
trying to-
He's getting ready
I'm trying
for
to
it.
put myself back in because I was a Man of Steel apologist because I think there was so much rhetoric, and I not a Man of Steel apologist. I'm a Superman apologist. So like even if something's like not great, I'm trying to like because again it was one of those. It was one of those. What did we have at the time? We had nothing. We had Smallville, thankfully, but it had just gone off the air. We're begging for breadcrumbs. I was burned after the loss of Superman Returns that we didn't get more of that, and then personally not getting to be more involved with the sequel as close as I got to be on it, and so everything surrounding Man of Steel, I was so excited for Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Zack Snyder guy. I'm not a big James Gunn guy. I'm not a. There's no director where I'm like, yes, everything they have made is like the best thing ever. Like the directors have highs and lows. Spielberg has highs and lows. Everybody has really good things that they've made. Everybody has things that they'd probably admit are not that good, and that other people would admit were really good. I mean, they're artists. I mean, there's Beatles songs that I absolutely love. There's Beatles songs that that aren't my favorite. That everybody has highs and lows. But I was so excited for a new film to come out, and it was stuff like Costner's death in that movie that I was just like, I'm having a really hard time defending something that I feel like I could have written a better version of in like 5 minutes. And I'm not being like, I could have done a better version of this. I guess I am because I just said that. But had he died saving someone, not just their dog that got, like if he had died saving a child or like he had, I don't know, if Clark was distracted saving people on his own, like if there's just the watching him die aspect of it. And the hand up and all that, and I'm just like, Clark could have moved faster than anyone would have ever seen, surely. There's such a far distance away from him. And I guess it's one of those things. It's like, why are you still talking about it 11 years later? Because it happened, and whatever was going to happen was going to happen. People have always said that about Superman the movie and even Smallville, that, Jonathan collapses at the farm and dies from a heart attack. And it's not like, it's a constant all the way through, whether it's a heart attack or a tornado, all these powers, and I couldn't save him.
That's what it comes down to. But again, there were ways around that where he could have saved him. I think with 78, the fact that it was just an instant, very unfortunate death that even with CPR or anything such as that, if we go through all those fictional loopholes of saying, well, what if he did this? And if he'd done that, and if he'd got him to a hospital, he could have brought him back to life. I think in that moment, that was just an absolutely awful heart attack, and there was no saving him from it.
Right.
And that's, with all these powers, I couldn't do anything at all. Whereas in the Man of Steel moment,
with all these powers, you could have
done
something.
You could have tried something, whether it was, anything. But there we go.
And that's part of the dichotomy of, you were put here for a reason. You're going to do great things. You have all these abilities, and but also the fear mongering of some of Man of Steel's. We don't want people to take you away from us, and all that kind of stuff. And you don't need to reveal yourself, and you need to hide these abilities away. It was kind of a hat on a hat, a little bit. And so I remember that scene, watching that scene that night, that Walmart super special screening with the introduction by Zack Snyder at Walmart, and all that stuff. And you pretty much know going into a Superman movie that if Jonathan's in it, especially if it's an origin story, he's probably not going to make it to the end credits.
Even if it's Kevin Costner.
Even if it's Costner.
Even if it's Costner, you think, really? There's rarely a film where he passes away.
And
what's going on there?
He'll come back as a ghost and then in a disembodied voice later. But I remember just the sinking feeling of dread during that whole tornado sequence. Yeah. Because they're in the graveyard and you're like, okay, well, now we're going to watch, how it happens. And of course, my dumbass is thinking he's going to have a heart attack in the middle of this tornado. And it's like, that's not what happened at all.
Nope. Just going to be just a pair of boots left.
And, now it's a meme, the whole hand raising thing. And I guess people still try to defend it to this day, and why it went the way it did. And I still try to, I still try to go, okay, well, and explain it. And then I'm like, no, I can't explain this.
Well, we defend our sports teams, don't we? Even if it's not their worst
season,
we will defend our team.
Yeah,
Superman
we won.
Team.
Yeah, we won. No, we didn't. Nobody won with this one. Because it's like, I don't know, in the back of my mind, and I get that he's not Superman yet. He's still Clark, and he was, it was the whole discussion of going to college and, taking over the farm and all that was happening in the car leading up to this. So he's still a really young version of this character, but it's like, I would have ducked behind all the people in the bypass and run off and done the thing and come
over the top,
come right back. It's just, he had a broken foot. That was it. Because he had to save the dog. It's like, so I think the problem with it for me was the death wasn't weighty enough.
Yeah.
Because it was something so flippant. And again, if he had been saving somebody, if he and Clark had both been out saving people and Clark just didn't know what was happening, but it was when you get to the broken foot and it's coming right at him and he can't hobble away and the hand raising thing, and it's just like, I don't feel like that death mattered as much as it didn't matter as much as a Jonathan Kent death should matter.
Good. That's a good way of putting it. And as you said, they could have both have been doing something where they were saving somebody else or another factor.
Yeah.
Different sides of that bridge, as it were.
Yeah.
And that connecting part in the middle.
And then he hears him, right as it's about to happen. He hears, if he heard Jonathan's voice, Clark, I'm not going to, I love you or something. You know, he picks up on it with the superhero, and Clark turns at the last minute and said, you know, when it is too late. It's like that whole 20-second just feels like an eternity
Of him
when
being
you're
held back by
when when he stops him, when he looks at everybody and then starts to go and he stops himself and Jonathan raises his hand and all that. It just feels like such a long duration of time where you're like, something could have happened here. There could have been a save.
Could have been a save there.
But
Lesson learned.
I love a Jonathan death. I do. I love. I do appreciate that relationship. I'm not somebody who had that relationship growing up, so I've always really enjoyed the Jonathan and Clark solidarity between those two characters, and you know, just having each other's back, and Jonathan be willing to do anything for his son. And it always breaks my heart to watch him die. I mean, I've watched Superman the movie. I think Back to the Future and Superman the movie are probably the two films I've watched more than any film ever in my entire lifetime. And any time they're walking up from the mailbox to the house, it's just this. I just always get this sense of dread.
Yeah,
like I love that scene. I love, you know, Jeff East's horrible dubbing voiced over Christopher Reeve. Like I love every bit about that whole, you know, him saying every time, and you know, and
it's a beautiful sequence, and it's the one that I was concerned the most about when I saw that with a live orchestra, because the strings in that scene again that we've both seen dozens of times before. It's fun, it's jovial. He runs home. They're having a great time talking about life and football, and then he just a little grab.
Yeah,
So,
just over the left arm. Oh no.
It's like, maybe it won't happen.
Maybe this
time.
time. Maybe this is the alternate
Maybe it's
version.
just a bit of an itch, or he gets stung by a bee.
And listen, this is not even what we're talking about, but I have to go into this here because you talk about those strings in that scene. Everything from when they start walking, has there been just a better pitch, just a range of music in a, I don't know, 18-minute, 17-minute period from when they start walking up from the mailbox and have that whole conversation that's shot toward the road, from the house toward the road, and then the funeral, and then the leaving home sequence in the cornfield, which is just the most beautiful piece.
Speaking with Maestro Anthony Gabrielli.
Yeah,
I just like saying that name. Anthony,
because it sounds good out of your voice. If I said it would sound terrible. Yeah.
But we had a wonderful chat about that concert. I started promoting Superman 78 at the Royal Albert Hall before COVID, and it got cancelled and rescheduled several times. But each time it did, I got to speak with Anthony again and get continually excited about this event. And so I learned so much more about the music, and I gained more respect for orchestral scores. But he ran me through that whole piece of how he comes home from the football game. We see the loss of Jonathan. That blends in to the funeral scene. That blends into North, as it were. And he said it was just a fantastic piece of music. And when I watched that inside the glorious Royal Albert Hall and felt every single note whilst watching the film, I was like, wow. As soundtrack scores go, just for the power of what it does to the storytelling, as you said, that sequence of events, it's powerful is just an absolute understatement. It's magical piece of movie history.
I can't. Similarly watching it live with the orchestra backing at Walt Disney Concert Hall last. I guess that was 23 now. Yeah, 2023. No, it was last year. I don't know. Whenever Brian Q. Miller and I went to see it, and listen, Leaving Home is emotionally manipulative. I think it might be the most emotionally manipulative piece of work by John Williams ever. I mean, it is completely. If I hear it, I just. Did you watch Seinfeld? Were you a Seinfeld fan?
I
okay.
watched that, yes.
Elaine's boyfriend that always stopped during Desperado, whatever the Eagles played. That's me during Leaving Home. anytime it plays, I'm just. Could you? I just. Anyway, can you
Stop.
leave me?
No, I
leave me
get
not-
it. I get it. Wait,
shh,
can you just stop
Can
talking?
you stop talking just for a minute? Um,
Desperado.
5 or 6 years ago, Elaine, the song. 5 or 6 years ago, it was the backing to the in memoriam at the Academy Awards. Like it was the whole. It was the entire. And I was like, you can't do that to me. Like that was. And I think it may have been longer. I don't know if it was the year Bowie died and everybody died when we lost so many people. Was that 2020? I can't remember.
Could have been 2021.
I can't remember.
It was a dreadful year.
It was a heavy hitters of who's who in that in memoriam at the Academy Awards, and that may have been why they pulled out the big number
the big
for
guns,
it. And I'm just like, that's rough. But I'm watching it in the Walt Disney Concert Hall, and I start tearing up. I mean, you've got a live orchestra in front of you playing against one of your favorite films of all time and one of your favorite scenes. It's just so, it's why today movies to me are just like so drab, because you look at what Donner did in that cornfield in Alberta, Canada, and how just beautiful that scene is between the two of them. And I mean, it gets me every single time. It gets me, and I'm tearing up. And Q leans over to me. He's like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "Shut up! You just
Don't look at me.
Don't
look at me.
It's dark in here for a reason. You're not. There should be no judgment in this place whatsoever." It is an extremely emotionally manipulative piece of music, which is saying a lot for Williams when you've got somebody who did Star Wars, Superman, Indiana Jones, and E.T.
Yes.
And so it because I feel something in all of those themes for myriad reasons. Because they're all. Go ahead.
No, there's another concert happening later on in the year with Pete Harrison, and it's a John Williams night open air event, and it said it's an outdoor event, so hopefully it's England, so we can't guarantee the weather, but they're pretty much like, bring your own beanbag. I'm like, I'm going to bring my own therapist for that night. I'm going to be an emotional wreck.
I need my emotional.
I'm going to have somebody else's support animal.
I need my emotional support crypto.
I'm going to have, I would have my trusty Superman handkerchief with me.
It's just,
but
so, and I think growing up watching specifically those 4 films or those 4 franchises, I guess.
Yeah.
The music, if you put anybody else in there, those it just doesn't work. Like part of the reason those films are so pitch perfect are because of Williams. This has gone from did we like Jonathan dying or not to how good John Williams is, but I think that just speaks to it. And it could be even, you could drill it down to the point that I don't know that Jonathan's death would be as important to me if it wasn't for how good Williams makes all of that. I mean, and that's why it's so cognizant with me through Schneider's portrayal of him dying in Smallville. And I jumped on. I had piecemealed Superman comics as a kid. I was not a consistent reader until the death of Superman. Was when I came on the scene and started reading every time because it was such a big deal to me. Before that, I just had like 100 different random Superman comics from the 80s and the 70s and 80s and 90s. But that whole storyline, that whole arc with Jonathan dying and them in the afterlife and all of that and battling to come back, and so it's always been a big deal to me, and that's one of the reasons I love Reckoning so much on Smallville. And the weight of him missing in other like Superman Returns when he's not there, but there's the picture of him and Martha sleeping with Ben Hubbard and all that other stuff. They're just playing Scrabble. He went home.
He's helping her. He's helping her out.
He went home at the end of the night, as a good gentleman does.
Yes.
So to talk about the new film, and I'm with you a little bit. This is one of the first things we talked about after we saw the trailer was whether or not
where's Mark Kent?
Where's Martha? We know she's in it, and why are the two of them this distraught on the porch?
I mean, we could be wrong. Funnily enough, it's happened before, Derek.
Yeah.
But
it's us.
It seems heavy. It seems a heavy way to give, again, as you said, some more emotional storytelling to
Yeah.
have that and to be different in
And
a
just-
film that's
yeah.
been done so many times before. Like, okay, let's mix it up. Instead of him having a missing father figure, let's have him have a missing mother figure. Let's see
Yeah.
how that changes his outlook.
Yeah. And I go back to what Gunn said originally before he ever even said he was directing the movie, when he was just writing it, and talked about when it still had the legacy title and how it's the juxtaposition of Clark's legacy between his Earth father and his Kryptonian father, and that I thought that was going to be a big tipping point in the story, whether or not we see Jonathan die, or whether or not Jonathan just died and somebody who just lost his adopted father but is also learning about his Kryptonian heritage. And obviously we know the Fortress does play a role in this movie now, so we don't know who's playing Jor-El, which still
It's a bit.
it's curious to me that has not been revealed.
I mean, if you've released so many more characters that we're excited to see,
Yes.
but why are you not going down that?
Why do we know who Martha and Jonathan are, but we don't know who Jor-El and Laura are? Or do we not see them? Is it just going to be a voice? Is it what's the
But
deal
hey,
there?
maybe a little bit of a teaser. Maybe we'll get more into that into the Patreon exclusive, Derek.
Hey
Now.
good segue, Luke Bugg. Thank
Look
you.
at that.
So
There
our
we go.
Patreon exclusive for this week is going to be Luke and I discussing if we were making our own Superman movie and who we would cast in those roles, those infamous roles.
I've got a whole list of notes for that.
Look at you. I'm so excited. So you can check that out by subscribing over at patreon.com/superhouseofl, where you can listen to our first Patreon exclusive episode, oddly enough. There was also a heavy discussion talking about Jonathan with Frank and Robin discussing the pilot of Lois and Clark, which was fun to dive back into because that was something I was big into when it was airing back in the day. I have a hard time finding any Superman property I'm not big into when it comes out, but it's me. It's me and Luke. Luke and I.
Allow it.
Yeah. So we would love for you to sign up over there. There are 3 levels. There's green kryptonite, red kryptonite, and gold kryptonite. And you get all kinds of incentives for signing up. So do that. And we're happy to actually I do have no, I don't. But I'm next time we start our Patreon, because we just officially launched last week. So I'm going to start listing out all our Patreon subscribers. I could do it from memory now, but I would probably miss somebody, and I don't want to do that.
No,
so
we don't
I've
want
got
that.
and my phone is up here because we're doing all this lovely video now. Thanks to our fun folks over at Riverside that Luke and I have joined up for.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it's been good.
trying to make
different. Change is always something difficult for 2 gentlemen that are set in their ways.
Yes.
But we have been enjoying the process of learning something new.
Mhm.
And hopefully it will make things a bit nicer in the long run.
That's
when
right.
it comes to videos and podcasting and all this new fad technology.
Because shake fist at the
shake
cloud.
fist at the clouds.
'Cause
jobs.
we've got more plans, you and I, this year for
Yes,
things,
sir.
as we are only now closing out February. We've got a new episode of Siegel and Shuster Society coming out in March for you, and more discussions here at the House of L. More discussions, Luke, over at the Geek of Steel, the podcast of Steel. So
Yes, sir. That's it.
that's where you can find Luke, of course, everywhere at the Geek of Steel on his social media handles, and the podcast of see, it's the S words.
It's
Luke,
the tongue twisters.
the
Peter Piper
podcast.
picked a pot of pickled peppers.
See, you
What's
start.
your favorite tongue twister, Derek? I'm not the pheasant plucker. I'm the pheasant plucker's son. I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes.
That's the one.
That was live as well, boyo. Woo!
There's a
That one
reason I won't try that one live. And
and I understand why.
how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. That one I can do.
See that one.
That
you can.
one.
There we go.
Thank you, Ducky. So yes, and also listen to Luke and all his excursions at the Podcast of Steel, or wherever you listen to podcasts. He's had some great episodes recently. He's churning them out, folks. He's way better at it than I am. My British brother, the British Derek. Did you freeze? What are
No,
you?
no, I was just taking that.
Oh,
That's
okay.
nice.
No, it's an
I'm
insult. That's probably an insult.
No,
That's,
no, I'm taking that.
Cool.
BD.
Well, I'm American Luke then.
We'll take it. We'll do
Okay,
it.
Good. We'll do it live. Of course, you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are the House of L, and if you're following us online, at Super House of L is our social media handle. We're on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Twitter, X, Blue Sky, whatever one they invent next, as long as Tim's handling it and I don't have to, because
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. And thank you, the listener. We will see you next time. Again, if you want to hear Luke and I next, head on over to patreon.com/superhouseofl and subscribe, where you can hear our exclusive episode for Patreon subscribers. Until then, we will see you next time.
Take care.